Hey family, thank you for tuning in to Our Roots podcast with Joseph Baba Ifa, where only the strongest roots see the light, brought to you by Botánica candles and more. And this one's a little bit different, Phil. This is for our members, but it's going to be coming out as well. So be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
This is a special one today.
Very exciting.
We got a full house too.
Very, very exciting. You know, Spiritual Kids Part 2. We're really resonating with this topic quite a bit, being that we have children with gifts, and there's so many people that we love and know that have the same situation. So we wanted to definitely be available and talk about their experiences and answer some really amazing questions that have been coming in and, you know, get right into it. But I think it's definitely a guaranteed classic.
Yeah, you want to introduce who we got today?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, we have my daughter, 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗃. 𝗀𝗃, say hi.
Hi.
All right. 𝗀𝗃 is a daughter of 𝗃𝗃𝗃, and she's initiated in 𝗏𝗏𝗿𝗃, and she also has her hand of Ifa. She occupies the role of 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗃. Apart from that, we have Miss Charlotte.
Hi.
And right next to her is her mother, Kathy, who's an initiate of our house, hand of Ifa, and a couple other deities as well. So really excited to get some new concepts and ideas on here with some new guests, as opposed to the last episode that we did. To, you know, just give people more exposure to the various things that might come with having a child with these very spiritual and special gifts.
All right, for those who are just now trickling in, we are live. I know we're doing it live on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a minute before we start getting in heavy, because normally people get the notification and then, you know, they'll come in. So
Absolutely.
I'll give them just a moment, because this is just for the members here.
Sure.
And I want to make sure, I'm just double checking on my phone too to make sure the stream is up. So
awesome.
So just say hey to everybody.
Well, hey guys, you know, another wonderful week here in Orlando, Florida. Busy week. We've recorded a couple episodes this morning leading into the afternoon. We're excited. We have a bunch of content in the pipeline. So we're going to keep it nice and flooded for you. We just released or are about to release some more membership videos. And if you haven't had the opportunity to join the membership program for when this is released, be sure to get in there. You know, a bunch of exclusive content, exposure to us, and a bunch of great things you can learn as well about Ifa and orisha.
Okay. All right, Joaquin is in the chat. He says hi, but
Joaquin, blessings me. How?
Let me just make sure that everybody else is here, because it says members only. Okay. I always have to double check, because when I create the feed, I create it as private first, or then everybody will see it. So then I have to check it and then fix it and make sure it says that it's just for the members only. But all right, guys, happy Saturday. All right, so how we are going to do this, I have a plethora, or is it plethora? What's the word? Plethora?
The first one sounded more interesting.
Okay, I have a plethora of questions, and they are directed to everybody here. And so each one of our psychic kids have their own set of questions.
Nice.
And I'm going to put the questions on the screen, and then you guys can answer the questions. But Joseph, I want you to read the questions first, though.
Yes, sir. You always put me to work, Phil. Let's go.
I have to. I have to. And if you are in the chat, just drop a like and say that you are here, and I have a button for that.
Awesome.
There you go. Smash that like button.
Smash.
All right. Okay, here we go. I actually have some sound effects, too.
Please.
You want the explosion, or you want the DJ air horn?
We can do the DJ air horn to begin. Eso.
All right. First one. Here we go.
Here we go. And this is from Donovan's Fun World for Allie. How to introduce older children 10 and up to Ifa if they have been raised as a different religion all their lives. So, Allie, you being somebody that, to a certain degree have been involved in Ifa from a young age, but at the same time you have other spiritualities that you're in contact with. You, as somebody within your age group, what do you think was the best way that Ifa was presented to you? Like, what was the easiest way for you to learn it or to feel comfortable with it?
So I can give you my perspective on that because both my parents practice different religions. On my mom's side, we practice Ifa, and on my dad's side, we practice Christianity. And although they're both like saying different things, I know that they're trying to get out the same message, which is be positive, don't think negative, and mainly to follow God. So I don't think parents should be afraid to introduce their kids to their religion because we rely on their support and knowledge.
Well, that was amazingly well put.
Did you prep her for that? I mean, she.
No, that's off the
that's
off the cuff, bro. That's straight politics right there. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
It was a fabulous response, and I think that is important to notice that, it doesn't matter what the name of the spirituality is. To be a spirituality, it has to be positive. It has to want to make us better, and it's like you said, regardless of where the good information is coming from, it's helping. So great, well said, baby.
All right, you guys ready for the next question here?
Yes.
Here we go.
All right, this is from Anonymous, and this is for Miss Charlotte. Do you remember having past lives?
Yes. I was following my mom everywhere, and I saw other spirits doing their own thing, and some just stared at me, and like I said, I followed my mom everywhere, and I really liked it a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on there. Did anybody say any names, or did you know your name back then, or anything like that?
No.
Okay, that's really normal.
I didn't really have a name back then.
Okay, yeah, and sometimes as a spirit, when we come back or we're in a past life, sometimes we go so much time that we don't necessarily remember a name, know a name, etc. Has she ever expressed that to you?
Yes, she has expressed it many times where she does rely on events way before she was even planned or conceived.
Wow.
That did happen.
Wow.
And she would always say that I was with you, I was always following you, I would see everything, so...
Any instances in particular that stick out to you?
Mostly it was in college. She told me you met someone that you weren't supposed to meet in college.
Wow.
Okay.
That is wild, the idea that, our children are kind of around us even before they get here, whether they're peering down and things like that. I remember one time Madrina did a misa, and I think it was after 𝘃𝗏𝗏 was born, and she was kind of explaining how, the spirit of 𝘃𝗏𝗏 was kind of looking down. They say that 𝘃𝗏𝗏 skipped the line, by the way, but that she jumped in when she wasn't, not that she wasn't supposed to, but she got in before time just to get down here again. So, it is very comforting. It's just a wild concept, but yeah, they know us before we know them.
All right, ready for the next one here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. And also, guys, we are live, so if you want to say what's up,
yeah, please.
You can.
𝗃𝗏𝗶𝗏𝗏, Fresh to Death, 1975.
All right, here we go.
All right, and this is from Miss Kathy from Terra Mendoza. How to discern children's dreams when they have nightmares.
So that is a very delicate concept on my end, just because, at least for me, children tend to have a vivid imagination. We know that. But when the dreams get a little too specific, they give you very specific details, especially when they see something involved with spirit, when they see a very particular message, especially you being a spiritual parent, you're going to notice that you'll be able to discern, okay, this was either part of her imagination or this was actually spirit trying to communicate something. So we need to sit down. We need to start analyzing everything. We need to start dissecting that information. That way we can start getting proper answers and how to handle the situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you think, there's just certain things that you look at what a child could say or couldn't say. And you're like, where did you get that from? Or, it's almost like being in contact with a higher self, or they were adults at one point, or they did have that kind of profound thought. So it is important as well to not just like obviously you don't disregard. We analyze everything, we digest everything as vivid as it may seem. There's things there. So you do a wonderful job of that for sure. So yeah.
All right, guys, for those watching who are members, if you are a VIP member, I just want to give you all a heads up. Directly after this show, we are going to have another one.
Yeah, we're going live again. Get in there.
Just for VIP. I'm trying to find
VIPs.
I'm trying to find the banner here, but it's somewhere. Here we go.
Yeah.
So I just made it. So if you are a VIP member, this one will be more of a Q&A with Joseph.
Okay.
So if you have
just
more
a boring
questions.
old Q&A with Baba, Ifa, and padakis and stuff.
I love them. Only if you promise to sing some more songs.
I'll sing for you, Phil. Whatever you want. I will serenade you with Ifa and orisha music. Good afternoon, SM.
All right. Okay. Next question here.
Oh man, this one's for me, from Amanda Justine D. Do you recommend children who are psychic sensitive to attend funerals for family members or visit family in hospitals? Only when absolutely necessary. And we really have to take into account age and things like that, because apart from the spiritual things, that could be very traumatic. I was actually thinking about something the other day. I remember when my Uncle Martin passed away, and I was given the opportunity to actually identify him in the autopsy. And as an 18-year-old man, I actually wasn't ready for that. I think now, at this age, at this tender age of 32, I feel obliged, to be or make myself available for things like that, whether it be a funeral, somebody being sick. But, for a child, that's very heavy. But, if it is a funeral of a very close family member, or, if we're visiting somebody that's about to transition, like at the very end, I do think it is important to a certain degree for children to familiarize themselves with death. Because it's not that we're trying to, traumatize them or scare them, but just understand that we only have a certain amount of time here. And that's why every day needs to be special and full of love. And I think that's important education as well. We can't desensitize them to the point where they're like, we're immortal, or, it's like people now, they eat a cheeseburger and they don't know where it comes from. So you have to familiarize your children with, hey, this is how we get our sustenance. Just like, hey, this is, where we'll end up one day.
Yeah, so I have a question for everybody. Right, this is from me. I didn't make a graphic of it, but so how is it in the store? Do you guys sense things, or do you guys see anything?
In the Botánica?
Yeah.
Ali, have you seen or heard anything in the Botánica?
Like a spirit?
Yeah.
Sometimes I see like figures, like
shadows.
Yeah, like mainly in the back room.
Yeah. That's not good. That's where I am all the time. How about you, Kathy? You're there.
We feel energy pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's
a
vortex.
Negative energies, or whether it's heaviness.
Yeah.
Like we feel everything at that point.
Yeah.
Joe, you should tell a story about my dad.
Yeah, absolutely. After we ask Charlotte, I'll definitely get into it. Charlotte, you've been to the store, right?
Yeah, I've been there to visit my mom or bring her lunch.
Yeah, that's very nice of you. And do you ever see anything out of the ordinary? You see a shadow or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I usually see things moving by themselves.
Oh.
One time I even saw one of the cement heads of 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗏. They were just floating around.
Oh.
And to my surprise, it nearly landed on my head.
Wow. Well, Phil, I'm happy we record here now. Right?
I think it likes me.
Yeah, right. And but about your dad, Phil, yeah, when we recorded that night, I'll never forget, I saw his image next to your recording equipment, and that really spawned the question about, because it was a very uncanny resemblance. And then I specifically remember the black shirt and things like that. And you were able to identify it was him. And, you know, how I interpret that is just, you know, how proud he was of your accomplishments, or, you know, him being a part of your fulfillment as a man and helping you get in a position to provide for your family with your career and affect so many people positively, him being so close to the camera.
Yeah, no, really. Dad had a huge impact on my career here.
Yeah, God bless for sure.
All right, next question. This one is for Ali, I think. Here we go.
Awesome. For Ali from Anonymous. Do you recognize mediumship abilities in your younger siblings? How do you help?
So my 2-year-old sister, Lola, she definitely has mediumship abilities.
Yeah.
Like, for example, she has told women that they're pregnant before they even knew that they were pregnant.
Yes, she has.
And how she tells them is she'll point at their stomach and she'll be like, baby. And that's crazy because she never knew that a baby goes in a stomach.
Of course not.
So another example is when I was little, I used to call my grandpa Pop Pop. And he passed before she was born, so she never got to meet him.
Yeah.
And she didn't really know anything about him. But at random times, she'll point to the ceiling and she'll be like, Pop Pop. Or she'll be like, Pop Pop says hi. And another example is the front door. She'll point at the front door and she'll be like, happy ghost, or she'll be like, scary ghost. And when she sees a scary ghost, she'll like run to someone around her and she'll get like shooken up, like she'll get scared.
She usually runs to you.
Yeah. And if she sees a happy ghost, she'll just let us know that there's a happy ghost at the door, but she's really like unfazed with the happy ghost.
Yeah.
And how we help her with that is whenever she sees a scary ghost, I'll just tell her to say bye, or say bye-bye ghost, because I don't want her to get scared by it.
Sure.
And then with the happy ghosts, we just tell her to say hi, or, you know, so she doesn't get terrified by the spirits.
Yeah. And I think that's such an advantage that you provide her, is just as a sibling and somebody that, you know, has very similar qualities, being able to console her. Because I think when we see things like that and no one understands what we're seeing, it can be very lonely, you know, or you could feel kind of out of place. So the idea that you're able to, you know, be like, hey, that's real. Hey, you saw that. Hey, it's nothing to worry about. I think we can avoid so many situations just based on those little interactions. So awesome.
That is literally amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Loli's off the chain. Mm-hmm.
So she knows the difference between a good ghost and a bad ghost.
It's energy, man. Kids know. Even if they're not, even if they're not aware, they know. You know what I'm saying? It's all energy, how they feel, you know, all those different things. A child knows when something right or wrong is happening. It's really incredible, you know.
Wow. Okay, all right. Next question here. Go. Boom.
All right, from Miss Charlotte from Adris Rios 2.0. 2.0. Is it common for Eshu or 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏 to tell you things?
Yes. Today and yesterday, he said that there's like this secret place of the Eshus, and I've got 2 papers as clues, but the last one said that I am pretty near, and really I didn't really know if spirits could write at all.
No, and that's interesting. You found 2 clues, and I'm imagining there's going to be another one, and 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏's number is 3. So that is interesting, that parallel. And you seem to interact with 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏 a lot. Does he say anything to you, or does he play tricks on you like he does to all of us? Or
Yeah, he also kind of likes to tell me jokes sometimes.
Are they funny?
Yeah, I'm like...
I think the jokes he tells you are better than the jokes he tells the adults, like when we get a flat tire or we can't find the keys to the car or the remote. So absolutely,
I know, right?
he's a funny guy.
And also he actually, sometimes we just have a little conversation and tell each other secrets.
Oh, that's good. And you have Eshu in the house.
Yeah.
What's her interactions with him like?
The moment I received 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗲 that I brought the warriors and everything, and I just gave her a briefing that, hey, these are my spiritual items. And I told her this is Ogun, 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗄𝗃, and she was always drawn to Eshu.
Wow.
Sometimes she would tell me, I saw a kid, I don't know, or running around the house. Or she would sit down in front of the Eshu and she would play with it.
Wow.
So she would play with toys, or she would bring her toys.
Yeah.
She recognizes the energy pretty well.
Yeah.
Sometimes she tells me that Eshu's awake, Eshu is sleeping, Eshu's doing this, Eshu's doing that. So.
Wow. Well, yeah.
Also, sometimes when my mom and dad are not in the house for a second, like mom's at work and my dad's gonna get the laundry, sometimes I get like some toys and play with 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 with them.
Okay.
And because Mama said that he likes toys.
Yeah, he does. He's like he's very fond of children. He has a lot of childlike qualities. So that's good that you've been able to build a relationship with him. You know what I'm saying? And I think you just exposing her helps quite a bit, because it takes away the fear or the unknown. We have to explain things to them so that they can realize, it's not just for us, it's for them as well. So absolutely.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Alrighty then. This is from Miss Charlotte again from 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗄𝗃 Selection. Do you see colors in the dark?
Yes. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and then I see pink, purple, green, blue. I see all the colors of the rainbow. And sometimes I find a rainbow on my pajamas.
Wow. Well, that's interesting, because when you look at colors, sometimes spirits can present themselves as colors, or the different parts of our body are associated with different wavelengths of light, so that is interesting. And that's like a whole nother level of mediumship, to be honest with you, to be able to see beyond like the physical or the outlines or the human aspects of things. Has she ever woken you up to tell you like, hey, this, that?
Yeah, she always, when that happens, it's always at 3 a.m. I do notice that on the clock. It's always at 3 a.m.
Wait, that's 3 a.m.
Yes,
Yeah,
3
yeah,
a.m.
well.
That's
I
usually
do remember
the
I
devil
did
hour.
speak to you like about almost a year ago, I think. I sent you that she out of nowhere just woke up in the middle of the night and she was repeating one word over and over again. She went back to sleep, and you told me that was another word for egungun.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And then you look at the colors as well. Egung is associated with the colors. So that's incredible.
Joe, what's the meaning of 3 a.m.? Because at 3 a.m. I like to say words too, but they're only like tacos.
So like they say that 3 a.m. is like when the doorway opens. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily that it's only for like negative or evil. It's just a open door. Now, at that time, a lot's going on. The world looks very different from 12 p.m. to 3 a.m. There's different things going on. So it reflects spiritually as well, where ideally we don't want to be practicing necessarily anything productive at that point. And that's in the Odu Shebara, where it says the day is to work and study and the night is to rest, because there's energies that come out at that point that don't necessarily want to interact with humans. But in another stance, the witching hour, right? There's things like that.
Yeah.
Also, can I add something?
Of course.
So, like, at church, I heard about the story of Jesus, and one of the teachers at my school, Ms. Bischoff, told me if I heard about it, and I said yes. When I asked her the question, why does people say that 3 a.m. is the most cursed time? And she says it's because 3 p.m. is the holy hour, because that's when Jesus was crucified.
Oh, wow.
And then the devil did the opposite. So people say that that 3 p.m. is the holy hour and 3 a.m. is the devil hour.
Well, the 3 p.m. also, it seems like a more positively viewed time because we're able to get things done, and be more productive. And then, the evil aspect of 3 a.m., even though Ifa really doesn't, necessarily believe in evil per se, but they say it's the hour when 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗏 activates. That's in the 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗏𝗁, or 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗏 speaks of it as well. And it's just a time for havoc, and frolic, I guess, spiritually. Like 𝘃𝗶𝗃 or 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗏, he kind of does his own thing. So if he has to mete out any repercussions for people's actions, that's usually when it happens. That's why, ideally we don't want to be out at 3 a.m., especially in Orlando where everything closes at 2 a.m.,
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we actually got a comment on YouTube.
Nice.
It's a little longer, so I'm going to put the chat on the whole screen here. So you can read that, Joseph.
Here we go. From Trinity Goddess, 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗏𝗏, bendiciones. My daughter, who can't talk very well, randomly moves things in my altar, like putting statues back to back. Did you have similar behaviors growing up? Ali, would you kind of move things around or anything like that, like statues, or put them in a certain way?
I think that when I was little, I think that I used to know what the statues were.
Okay.
Because Mom would explain them to me.
Sure.
And I don't think I used to move them around, but I think I would more so tell Mom about them. Like things like if they're telling me something, I think I used to get messages when I was little. I don't really remember that good, but I don't think I used to move them.
Okay. And how about you, Charlotte? Do you ever move things around at home?
Oh, sometimes.
Notice how mommy kind of looked at you. Like, you better say yes. You're moving stuff, Is there a reason why you move it? Like, is it...
Sometimes when mom's not home and papa's doing something, even when mom's not home and dad's home, when I see that they are looking, I move his statue and bring him to my room.
Okay.
And sometimes we just have a little private chat and play a little bit, read. But then when mom comes home, when no one is looking, I put them back.
Well, now everybody knows.
The whole world knows now.
But that's good. Everybody needs some quiet time, and it's nice to have somebody to talk to. And I think 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏, or these images and things like that, they provide that consolation. I mean, in African faiths, iconism has always been present. You see these images made out of wood and things like that. This has been around since the dawn of our spirituality. So the child putting things in a certain way, it may be being influenced by its own spiritual cord or their cord, like, hey, this is the best position to have these things in for the best result. And sometimes they're just in contact with their higher self or power to get those kind of messages directly, where adults, we have a little more to work through because we have more predisposition at this point.
All right.
And Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Still do that though.
Oh, that's between you and Mom. We're gonna see if we can get some alone time with 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏.
All right, guys. Next question here.
Alrighty, then this is from Miss Kathy from Memmy Hustle. Children have powerful imaginations. How do we determine which is imagination and which is a spiritual experience, in your opinion?
So, in my opinion, like I said earlier, it's kind of a delicate balance. Children tend to have a very vivid imagination, but when they start telling you very specific details, to give you an example, Charlotte had a dream about a few months ago telling me that she saw a man in purple. Oh. I have a statue of St. Lazarus in the house, so he's automatically purple. And she then told me very specific details about that particular statue, so I brought her to the 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗏 in my house to ask her, is that the man that you saw? And she told me yes. So one of the things that I highly recommend is be very open-minded when it comes to them explaining their dreams. Ask them, can you remember anything specific? Can you give me any details? And you will definitely tell. The more detailed the dream is, it's more of a message instead of just plain imagination, at least on my opinion.
Oh, and to tell you the truth, do you remember what I said this morning? I had this dream, crazy dream, like mostly it was like jellyfish things. Like my dad's head was like a jellyfish, and there was also like a skeleton in a black cloak running at the back of my door, and there was also like this silly looking man right at the window with a jellyfish costume, and my mom's lips couldn't even be opened. I kind of laughed at that. and my friend Emma, which was in my dream, she's one of my friends, turned into a jellyfish entirely.
Wow.
And she even had like a little infection bite on her hand.
Yeah.
That could have been the man that I saw on the window.
Wow.
Like he could be somehow cursed and in my dream and bit her and infected her. I do not know where that came from. I was not thinking that at all.
Well, you gotta help mommy despojar la casa. You gotta help mommy, do a 𝗃𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗍, and we'll and we got the jellyfish. I've been bit by a jellyfish. It's very uncomfortable, but there's so much to interpret there,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
why I say, like, they will start giving you very specific details, and as a spiritual individual and as a spiritual parent, it's our responsibility to start dissecting what they're trying to tell us. Be very open-minded when they tell you things. No judgment. What do you think that means? Also, if you have a 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗲, your 𝘃𝗶𝗸𝗶, ask your spirits as well if that is a message, what kind of message they're trying to portray. And if they can show you what your kids saw, that would also be very helpful.
I feel horrible, but I'm laughing at the idea of Jose's head looking like a jellyfish, as she said. That's horrible.
I know.
Oh, poor Poppy. Next, Phil.
That's hilarious. All right. Next question here.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. For me, from Miss Amanda Justine, the importance of maintaining a spiritually cleansed home for psychic sensitive children. It's paramount because they're sponges already. And then you throw in the spiritual organ that is the pineal gland and, all these different things. You have to have good spiritual habits. The thing is if they're starting to show those kind of behaviors, it's the responsibility of the parent to accept that and create the condition for them to feel comfortable and calm. So, for example, if a child is going through anything else, we as parents immediately, we're like, okay, we're eating too much sugar, let's have some more, I don't know, something else. But with spirituality, sometimes we tend to brush it off when they need attention as well, too. So if somebody's, God forbid, asthmatic, we get an air purifier. If somebody's spiritually sensitive, we may need to have a 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗶 installed. We may need to, get in the habit of cleaning things. I mean, when you look at a situation like the dream that was just mentioned and then Kathy, I already know you. Like, oh yeah, we're going to mop the house. We're going to do this. I'm going to pray the 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗶 real quick, and then everything tranquilizes. But if we leave things like that unattended to, that's when we can start seeing instability. And that's what we have to avoid because they're at a tender age.
Oh, wow. All right. Just a reminder, guys, we will be going live for the VIPs right after this.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have your questions that you want to ask Joseph, just stick around. And if you are not a VIP yet, you can upgrade. It's really easy. It takes 3 clicks, 4 clicks.
If you need any motivation to join the VIP, I will sing at least one song today.
There we go.
If that sweetens the deal.
All right, here we go. Next question.
All right, for Miss Allie, how do you handle seeing or feeling an evil spirit?
So there really is no such thing as evil.
Sure.
It's really based on perspective. I know there's lower and higher vibration spirits.
Yeah.
But I think that the society has made the theory that evil is a thing. And I know that there's higher and lower vibration spirits, but you as the higher vibration spirit can easily overpower the lower vibration spirit. And if you have fear, you're letting the lower vibration spirit overpower you. So really just don't have fear.
I love what you bring up there is always remembering that even though we're in a body, we still have a soul. And as long as we maintain a higher vibration and we don't allow the doubt of what this energy supposedly could do to us, we usually will overcome. So that's a great point, baby. Definitely.
Nice, yeah. All right, here we go. Next one. And actually, before we even go to that one, she did mention that there's no real evil. So I know Joseph, how we've I tell you that comment really caused a stir. Yeah.
But I tell you this angry comments video that's going to be coming out soon. We have a response for you, so you focus on me, okay?
All right.
Chacho.
Next question.
All right, this is from Miss Charlotte from 𝗃𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗃. Do you see any more kids for me? You think this person's gonna have any more kids? She's asking for a free reading.
When I just come and when I close my eyes, I could see the kids like running around, and she might have a problem trying to get them to stay. They might wander around in the store. They might not do what he asks, and she might have a problem. So I think he might only have like 2 more.
Only? All right. Well, yeah. I mean,
That's
might, but she has some things she has to look into possibly. Like she has to maybe visit somebody, maybe an espiritista or a doctor or something like that. She might have some obstacles. Alrighty then, yeah. All right. Well, there you have your answer, Miss 𝗃𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗃. Thank you, Junior Boruboya. This is beautiful. So we might have some obstacles. Seek somebody to see if we can have those other 2.
All right, here we go. Next question.
All right, for Miss Kathy from Stacy LP7. What guidance and support can parents offer a kid with abilities they might not understand?
So one of the main things is going to be them giving observation with you. So they are naturally going to be drawn to whatever it is that you're doing. They're going to start naturally asking questions. And in the process, if you see that they develop mediumship or an ability or spiritual ability that they do not understand, we have to basically lower ourselves into their level and use words or phrases for them to understand what's going on. Because we cannot assume that they're going to understand the complexity the way that we know it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for example, I mean, I have a certain level of mediumship, but it's nothing compared to, what this one has already or what Loli's showing. Because remember, everybody has different gifts and different paths to walk, So understanding that everybody has something different about them and just kind of digesting what they're presenting to you, because you might not understand it immediately, but just listening will help you get a better idea for sure.
Wow. All right. Junior also says hello.
Boruboya.
Okay. All right. Next one is, hold on. I'm trying to read these. They're so tiny on my screen.
No worries. Here
we go.
All right. For myself, truly, how can parents identify spiritual symptoms that may manifest into emotions, behavioral, that are not the child's? Remember that spirituality is a part of our being, just like our mentality, our physicality, all of the different aspects of our health and situation. So one is always going to affect the others. But what we really have to do is, at that point, I think a process of elimination, right? If there is the suspicion that it may be spiritually induced, let's get a misa going. Let's maybe get a reading. Let's do some more generic things, maybe even in the beginning before that, to start seeing if there's any alleviation. If we're noticing that the spiritual aspect of things is not having an effect, then, we may need to delegate that to somebody who specializes more in the emotional or physical, which is outside of our scope to a certain degree.
Got it. Okay. All right, we have one more question here.
Oh my gosh, that was quick.
One. Yeah, I mean, 40 minutes in already, so.
Good gosh.
All right, this one's for Allie.
Allie, from 𝗃𝗲𝗹𝗁9353, how can they grow their mediumship in Ifa?
So, how my parents helped me grow my mediumship in Ifa is, well, first, they don't overdo anything. Like, for example, let's say my mom has 100 misas in 1 year. I'd probably be attending like 3 of them.
Sure.
And in each misa, I learned something different. Like, I've learned that lower vibration spirits are definitely real, and that cleansing myself makes me feel better. Another example is I'll probably have at least 1 reading and 1 ebo in a year. And in the readings, Joseph gives me good advice, and I learn about myself a little more. And in ebos, he cleanses me with protection. I feel like if my parents were to overdo the religion, I would probably get overwhelmed with the religion and probably not want anything to do with it. So I really appreciate that they don't overdo it. And
well, thank you, baby. And, as parents, we're always thinking about making sure you're in the best position to be safe, right? And, that's why we do what we do. But it is important not to overdo it. And this is for all parents as well, is that, a kid is still a kid. Me, myself, even though I started Ifa very young, I can't necessarily say anybody forced it on me anyway. So it was my decision and my calling. And, even if, we're lucky enough for our children to practice our spirituality to a certain degree, they might not do it at the same magnitude. And there's so many other things to do. Eat ice cream, have a good weekend, drop a bottle like my daughter just did. But we have to allow kids to be kids. So you spiritualize them as much as they can tolerate, which usually isn't much more than 3%. Like Ali said, out of 100 misas, she'll probably hop into 3. And of the 3, there might be a muy tokuro, and then we might not do one for a while. So, it's about exposing them, but at a pace that's comfortable to them. Charlotte, to bring things full circle, I'd love to get your opinion. How do you think other kids can work on their mediumship, which is like seeing spirits or becoming more comfortable with that? What do you think they could do?
I think they could go to the shop, get some
Thank you for the free advertisement. Go to the shop. I love that. Yeah.
And get to know spirits a little better, so they don't be scared when they think something unnatural just happens because of the spirits. They just have to understand things a little better so they could not be scared. Kind of like I did. I was scared because shadows were in my room. And then my mom said that they were just the spirits walking around. And since I know a little bit more about them, I feel a little better when that happens.
Thank you. And Kathy, what do you think as far as helping these young people understand their gifts better and possibly develop them more?
Definitely don't be afraid to seek help. Don't be afraid to ask questions in the process. Be very open-minded from the moment they start giving you certain clues or certain keywords that can trigger that spiritual mindset of maybe we should research this a little bit more. If you feel it way too serious to get a consultation, get a consultation. But just give them that orientation the moment that they start growing curious about it. Don't push it on them. Don't force it on them, because it's just going to scare them to that degree.
I couldn't have given a better answer other than the 3 components of that one, Phil.
Joseph, I don't even think we need you on the show anymore. Let's just have the girls do it.
I'll take, yeah, you guys stay here. Me and wifey will go get lunch, yeah. But honestly, to bring things full circle, ladies, thank you so much for having the courage to speak about these things and put it so eloquently as you have. You have beautiful lives ahead of you with parents that love you, and, you know, however far you want to take your gifts, you'll be able to. You know, but at least you know who you are and, you know, what's real and what's worth paying attention to. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes. And
Thank you.
also, folks, stick around.
Thank you so much.
Stick around for, you know, the VIPs. We'll be on in just a couple of minutes. So say bye, girls.
Bye. It's all about the kids, man. Little boy.
See you guys.